Can you achieve goals? It's a really big question. A lot of people will tell you that you can't because you're too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, too old, too young, too inexperienced, and you might believe them. Well, behind me today is a beautiful lake, one of the most beautiful lakes in New Zealand, but you can't see it. Doesn't mean that it's not there, it just means we can't see it today. And is it possible that you can achieve all of the things that you want to achieve if you want to be healthy, fit, strong, have a career or business that you love, be financially free, have great people in your life? They're the 4 things that I bang on about every single day. Can you do that? Of course you can. They're all choices. But you might have people in your life fogging up the picture. No, you can't. Well, I've got a suggestion. Keep the can'ts out of your life. It's a horrible, filthy, disgusting word for a start. But if you tell yourself you can't, well, then you definitely can't. But if you've got other people whispering in your ear, or worse, yelling in your ear that you can't do it, you might believe them. They're the ones fogging up the picture. So how about like this beautiful lake, and I've been here when it's hot, cold, snowing, raining, foggy. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean the lake's not here. Doesn't matter what people tell you about your goals. It doesn't mean that you can't achieve them. You can if you decide to. And that's the interesting thing about goal setting and goal achieving. There's a word called failure, but the only reason you fail is if you give up. So if you never give up, you can't fail. If you don't start, then you've definitely failed because you can't win if you don't start. But if you stop halfway through, you definitely can't achieve your goals. So regardless of how cold it is, how hot it is, how foggy it is, even if you think you can't achieve something, if you tell yourself you can't, then you definitely can't. But if you take one foot after the other, and that's the thing about fog, if you drive in the fog, for example, you can't see very far, but every bit that you go, you can see a little bit more. So with goal setting and goal achieving, it's the same thing. Now, I know that sounds a little bit rah-rah, goal setting, goal achieving, but ultimately that just means what do you want and can you get it? What do you want and how are you going to achieve it, rather than somebody told me that I can't, so I won't. So if you want to live your life to the max, and I always use those 4 examples, if you want to be healthy, fit and strong, if you want to have a career or business that you love, if you want to be financially free, and if you want to have great people in your life, and I'm going to rephrase that, because the opposite is what happens if you don't aim for those things. You end up fat, sick, weak, diseased, no energy. You end up with a lousy, stinking, rotten job, which means you end up broke or struggling financially, and you end up with crappy people in your life. And I think that's a horrible way to live. It's a bit like coming to a beautiful lake on a cloudy day, living life in the clouds, in the fog, in the mist, my life's terrible because I can't see what I can achieve. Well, if you can't see it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that it's not there. So if you want to achieve your goals, just say, I'm going to do it and never give up. And I always use that example. I never thought that I could run a marathon. I've ended up running 21 of those. And I share that with you not to impress, but to express that all I needed was this. Somebody said to me, Rowie, when the gun goes off, you start running. When you cross the finish line, you stop running and you don't give yourself an option to stop in between. And consequently, I did my first marathon and 21 since because I took that attitude on board. So what if you did that with your goals? I'm going to start and I'm not going to stop until I achieve. If I start to get healthy, fit and strong, I'm not stopping until I'm as fittest and strongest and healthiest as I can be. If I'm going to have a career or business that I love, I'm not going to give up on that until I've got one. If I want to be financially free, set the goal for what that looks like and then go achieve it and don't stop until you have. And if you've got lousy, stinking, horrible people in your life, that's easy. Just get them the hell out of there. You don't have to wait to do that. You can just do that today. So if you want to live your life to the max, don't let the fog get in the way. Live your life to the max. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. How are you? Living my life to the max. Even though you can't see the lake today. Woohoo!